Hey, what's going on there, folks? Earthmaster here. It is Friday night, 7:30 p.m. on February 16th, 2018. And if you haven't heard, there was a pretty good-sized earthquake in southern Mexico just over 3 hours ago, registering at first a 7.5 magnitude earthquake and then later downgraded, according to USGS, of a 7.2, which is still a rather large earthquake. No matter where it's at in the world, there you can see the pretty large rings. This here took place in southern Mexico, and since then there has been quite a few large aftershocks. Biggest one being a 5.8 within the same region there. I just want to take you over here and show you guys this map that I have pulled up here. Show you the specific location of the earthquake that took place today. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce those names or the city names there, because I know I will pronounce them wrong. But you can see the area on the map here in Mexico where the earthquake took place. Bring this up here to the terrain. That way you can see some cities that were somewhat affected. Luckily, this did not take place near any major cities. Now, it was felt in Mexico City, which is a distance away. Roughly on this map, it looks like about 200 miles away, which is pretty impressive there for 7.2. So as you can see, it's kind of out there in the middle of, well, it's definitely inland, but out there in the middle where there's no major cities, at least according to this map right here. Some smaller communities, and I'm sure some like tourist destination spots down there were definitely hit. The shake map shows definitely some high intensity shaking, and according to the pager here, it looks like some economic losses in the yellow range, and estimated fatalities up there around 34 to 36%. I'm not going to go over all this stuff right here, but if you guys want to check it out, you can go to the link that's posted in this video. Here's the shake map of the 7.2 that took place, mostly confined within that region there, but you can see some lighter shaking and some light blue distancing itself off into the region there. So 7.2, good size earthquake. No doubt about it. And also, like I said, there's been quite a few aftershocks in the region, at least with the 2.5 and above for US. I think this is when's this one? 217. This took place, 4.3 took place within the same region, but that 5.8 right there is just to the south of the main quake there, about 30 miles or so according to the scale right here. Which is kind of strange, but needless to say, it's definitely an aftershock of that main 7.2 right there. Something I do want to point out, folks, I just noticed in the California region, more specifically the Bay Area near San Francisco, there's a start, and this is somewhat troublesome because this is on the section of the Calaveras fault system that I'm going to go over here in a minute, but geologists are saying that it's more likely to fail here real soon. See these little red squares? You may not think nothing of them. It looked like maybe one or two mixed in there, but there's actually a cluster of them, and the majority of them, well, a lot of them occurred way earlier this morning. It seemed to have just kicked off, and there was a little bit, well, the geysers and whatnot's well north of there, but most of the activity kicked off this morning, and it's continuing into tonight, following that big 7.2. And it's interesting. It's on a fault system, guys, that I'm going to show you here in just a second, but I'm going to show you another map here. This is very close to Mount Diablo. Not too familiar with that. I've heard it living here in California, but I'm not a big fan of going down to the Bay Area just for specific reasons of my own. But close to Mount Diablo. Over here, just to the west, in the northern section where it ends right there, is the Calaveras Fault Zone, the northern Calaveras Fault section. Up here, you got the, where's the Hayward Fault? I believe that's a Concord. Let me see here. There's a bunch of fault systems here in Northern California, but it's on and very close to, and according to the scale down here, let's see here, we're looking at 5 miles, probably about 2 miles from the fault system there is where the activity is taking place. Now this is one day of all magnitudes, and there's roughly about 16 earthquakes within this region today. Now that's according to the USGS, and it's possible there could be more. But it's really interesting, folks, to see this activity within that area. If you look up the Calaveras Fault System on the internet and Google, wherever, Wikipedia, I pointed this out right here. Look at this recent assessment. According back in January 2008, which is now, well, 10 years old, right? Suggests that the northern Calaveras Fault, the portion between Sunol and Danville, California, may be more likely to fall in the next few decades than previously thought. Okay? There's been some large earthquakes, a number of magnitude 6 earthquakes taking place on this fault throughout recorded history. The largest, which was a magnitude 6.5 that occurred back in 1911. The most recent was a 6.2 occurring back in 1984 near Morgan Hill. Magnitude 5.6 occurred on the Calaveras Fault on... Okay, so that was a 6 back in 1984. But the most recent, it looks like, 5.6 occurred on the Calaveras Fault on October 30th. 2007, so we're still looking at about 11 years. So it's been quite a bit of buildup. You know, there's been a lot of study on this fault system here, and it's interesting to watch, folks, especially with the activity that's occurring in southern Mexico. You know, it may not seem like it would affect it much, but it is. You know, right around that North American plate area, and it'd be interesting to watch, see exactly what the outcome is of this you know, kind of smaller activity. The largest activity, let's take a look real quick and see exactly what that was. Looks like a 2.8 occurring right there at the depth of 5.8 kilometers. Now most of these, looking at the depth here, all take place right around 5 kilometers, except for this oddball right here at 1.5 magnitude at 0.1 kilometers below the surface here. I'm not for sure if that's a of course this is automatic here, so it looks like it hasn't been reviewed, so it's possible this will get adjusted according to the depth of the earthquake itself there. But you see Danville, right? They mentioned that right here in the Calaveras. Right down here, let me highlight this for you again. Here's a recent assessment. The portion between Sunol and Danville. Let's go back over here and take a look at this map. You got Danville. Where the heck is Sunol? Let's see here. Maybe it's so small we're not seeing it. Let me back out a little bit here. It can't be that much further down. You get to the central section the further you go down. But this is right on the northern section of the Calaveras Fault System right here. You know, like I said, I don't know if anybody else has noticed that, but I'm going to be watching this pretty closely. I wanted to point that out to you guys there, that we could see some, you know, well, obviously it's had 6.0 earthquakes and larger in the past, and it's very capable of doing so. So this is a prime area to watch here in California at the moment, and may have to pull up a closer station, although I do have a station down here a little bit further south on the San Andreas fault system near Hollister, pulled up on my data on the graphs here, but I may have to look for something within this area so we can keep an eye on these smaller ones throughout the night here. It's really interesting, folks. I didn't notice it all day today, and then I happened to see all these little cluster of quakes right here. So we'll see what happens. Taking a look at Yellowstone here. Here's the most recent graph, seismograph from Yellowstone National Park, where the activity is still occurring, folks. It's not increasing and it's not dying down. It's still active. Those are still fairly small earthquakes, probably under a 1 or so. You might have a 1.5 around here and so on. But this quake right here, this signature, is from that 7.2 that occurred in Mexico earlier this evening. As you can see, it showing up on quite a few graphs out here all throughout the park. Looks like a single individual quake over here near, let's see here. Closest station looks like it may be Lake Yellowstone. You can see this little spike right here. We'll have to watch out pretty closely because these two are individual earthquakes in that specific location of the park, away from the main swarming area. So we'll see what happens, see if it migrates a little bit, but for now we'll definitely keep an eye on it. But wow, I tell you what, it's been a pretty active day, folks, out in the earthquake world. I mean, just taking a look at this, let's bring it back a tad bit here. This here is once again a combination of what do we got? USGS, EMSC, and also GeoNet activity. So what do we got there? A little earthquake in what is that? Utah? Yeah, I don't think I've seen that earthquake there before. Taking place just a short time ago, 3.7, depth of a negative 3 kilometers. Not for sure exactly what that means, but a pretty good size one for being out there. I'll have to check back on that one. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up a local station for that area and keep an eye on that region there, because it's pretty close. I mean, it's oh shoot, I'm probably about an hour and a half from that area, maybe 2 hours from that region. So if a big 6.0 or whatnot decided to strike on that northern section of the Calaveras fault system, we will definitely be feeling it up here. So that's kind of concerning for me because I don't want that. But anyway, folks, I will be on here off and on tonight, keeping an eye on things. That'll be it for the update video right now. We'll get back to the live stream, and if you're not on the live stream, if you're watching this update video, hop on over to the current live stream and hop in for some chat and discuss some earthquake activity out there tonight. It is Friday night, so definitely come on over. All right, folks, we'll catch you all later. Have a great night. Have a great weekend.